So hello friends. Uh, so in this video, I will explain some terms related with our uh, images in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So this is the first term we are going to use frequently. What is this term? The term is bounded variation. So before going to this concept of bounded variation, we have to know what is actually a partition. Okay, what do we mean by partition? So you just remember what is a partition. If an interval AB is given closed interval, okay, then what is a partition? A partition actually you have to subdivide this interval into some finite number of subintervals. Okay, so that is A to B interval. This is an interval. You subdivide this interval into say finite number of parts, n subinterval. Okay, and this is the T naught T1. This is first subinterval, next T1 T2, then T2 T3, something like that, then Tn minus 1 Tn. So here T naught is equal to A and B is equal to Tn. So these are the endpoints actually. Okay, so this is a partition actually. This set is said to be a partition. So you have to divide this interval AB into some finite number of terms, into some finite number of parts. Okay, so this is a partition. So now we need this concept of partition for our concept of this bounded variation. Okay, so what is this actually, this bounded variation? uh, you just consider bounded variation. You just say gamma is a mapping given from this closed interval to the complex plane, that is this our Argand plane, complex Argand plane, that is the two-dimensional rectangular coordinate system. You can think about this. Okay, so this gamma is said to be of bounded variation. Variation is bounded. Okay, therefore this is bounded variation. Then what does it imply? If there exists m greater than 0, there exists a positive real number greater than 0, such that if I consider a partition of AB, if I consider any partition of AB, then you just consider this value corresponding to this partition. Since gamma is defined on this closed interval AB, so you can have the values for each of these point of this partition. So gamma T1, gamma T0, gamma T2, gamma T3, gamma T4, up to gamma Tm. Okay, so these are the actual value. So if I consider the corresponding value, distance, that is gamma T1 minus gamma T0. Okay, gamma T1 minus gamma T0, mod of gamma T1 minus gamma T0, then gamma T2 minus gamma T1 mod of 2 plus up to mod of gamma Tm minus gamma Tm minus 1. Okay, if I consider this variation, this is variation between gamma T1 and gamma T0, then this is gamma T2 and gamma T1 up to gamma Tm and gamma Tm minus 1. If I consider this variation, okay, and if I take the sum of these variations, then if it is bounded, if it is bounded, okay, if it is bounded means there must exist a real number m greater than 0, such that this portion is less than equal to m. Okay, a number is set is bounded means this condition is satisfied. Okay, so just you think what is actually happening here. Bounded variation means you just have this function f gamma is a function is given. We have this interval, closed interval AB. Okay, then you consider any partition of this closed interval AB. Okay, so corresponding to this partition, if the variation, this is the variation of this partition with respect to gamma, and this portion is the variation, you can consider this is variation. If this variation is greater than less than equal to a particular real number m, then we say that gamma is a bounded variation. Okay, gamma is a bounded variation. Okay, so this is actually concept of bounded variation. Now with the help of this concept of bounded variation gamma, we can have the concept of total variation. Total variation means, so you consider the supremum of all the bounded variation. Okay, that is corresponding to every p, we have this part. Okay, we have this part. Okay, corresponding to one, we have this part in nu of gamma p, okay, you consider that is this summation sign. Okay, and according to the definition of bounded variation, this summation sign is always less than equal to some fixed real number, that is m. So P1, for P1 we have this type of summation sign, so this is less than equal to m. For P2, okay, P2 we have another summation sign, okay, this is also equal to m. Okay, okay, that is all these summation sign corresponding to P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, okay, so this is always less than equal to m. That is, the set of summation sign is actually bounded set. So if a set of summation sign is a bounded set according to the least upper bound property, then it has a supremum. So if I consider the supremum, then this is said to be the total variation of gamma. Okay, you just consider the supremum value of the corresponding summation, okay, corresponding this summation with respect to every partition, then we can have this concept of total variation. Okay, you just need the concept of total variation. Why we need the concept of total variation? When we are going to discuss this concept by graphically, then it is very easy to understand. So next one, another term is going to use is gamma is a part. What is gamma is a part? This is a gamma is a part. So this is a picture of a part. So what is this? This is actually continuous function. Okay, what is this? A continuous function from closed interval AB to the square set of complex number. Okay, set of complex plane. So this is a gamma is a part, mean this condition is satisfied. Gamma is a part. Okay, now the main part. What is the main part? So we need this concept of this rectifiable part. So the first term we have used, the rectifiable curve. What is rectifiable part? If gamma is a bounded variation, then gamma is said to be a rectifiable part. Okay, gamma is said to be a rectifiable part. Gamma is a bounded variation, then gamma is said to be a rectifiable path. Rectifiable path means the length of the path is finite. Okay, length of the path is finite. So how you can measure the length of a path? That is very important thing. How we can measure length of a path? Say you have to measure length of these path gamma. Okay, least path gamma. So we actually we take the measure by taking straight line. Okay, taking straight line, because straight line it gives the minimum distance between two points. Okay, so you have to find out the length, the length of this path. Okay, so from A to B, that is gamma T naught to gamma Tn, that is gamma A to gamma B. What is the length of this path? Okay, starting from, so distance between gamma A and gamma B, but this they are not straight line. Okay, gamma, this is not straight line, gamma A and gamma B, this is the path. Okay, this is the structure of this curve, structure of this path. So to get the length of this path, we are going to take help of this line segment, the concept of line segment. Okay, then we have this concept of this partition. Okay, say how the partition comes to this concept. You can see, so gamma is a path, means gamma is a mapping from closed interval AB to some closed interval AB to C. Okay, that is, we have this closed interval. Okay, so this is gamma, this is our gamma. Now we are going to measure this gamma. Okay, measure this gamma. So to measure this gamma, you just consider a partition. So this is a partition. Okay, T0, T1, T2, T3, T4 partition. Corresponding to this partition, we have this gamma T0, gamma T1. Okay, this is the point gamma T0, this is the point gamma T1, gamma T2, something like that, gamma Tn minus 1, gamma Tn. Okay, now you consider this the distance between these 2 points. So you just remember distance, Cartesian coordinate. Distance between these 2 points means what? Okay, so distance between these 2 points means the mod of gamma T1 minus gamma T0. Okay, gamma T1 minus gamma T0. Similarly, the distance between these 2 points, distance between these 2 points, gamma T2 minus gamma T1, something like that. Okay, distance between these 2 points. What does it imply? This implies gamma Tn minus gamma Tn minus 1. Okay, so now this part is actually this part. If I observe this distance, okay, that is gamma T1 minus gamma T0, this line segment, length of this line segment is smaller than this part. This is easy to observe. Okay, we are going to measure this part. The whole part is, this is the whole part, but we just stick in this part. You are going to measure this part. Then distance between this line segment, okay, the length of this line segment is less than this. Okay, so now if I consider a point in between this T0 and T1. Then we have a point in here. So you see this picture. This is the point, say L. You just consider point L. So, okay. Then you can see. Then you can find out this distance, that is line segment. We have length of this. Okay, that is what we have introduced a point L. That is, if I'm going to introduce a point in this partition, that is this the L is here. Okay, L is here. That is, we have another partition. Okay, we have another partition. So you can see in this case, actually this is gamma L. Okay, gamma L. So this line segment, okay, this line segment, length of this line segment and length of this line segment. So if I take the length of this, sum of length of this line segment, this is always greater than this line segment, because by triangle law. Okay, so okay, sum of two sides of the triangle is always greater than to the third side. Okay, that is, so this is actually, if I consider this plus this is always this is greater than, actually this is not less than, this is greater than. Okay, so this is actually better approximation. This part is gives a better approximation of this curve, okay, than this part, than this. Okay, than this, better approximation. Okay, so this is better. Similarly, say if I consider in between these 2 points, you consider another point C. So we have this type of picture, this type of picture. Then you consider this length, this length, this length, this length, and then this will be actually better approximation. This will be better approximation. Okay, then this. Okay, then this. So since so you can do this process, we can do this continue this process. But it is given that the function is a bounded variation. Okay, bounded variation. So therefore you can observe, so this so you increase the number of points, but this summation sign is always less than equal to some fixed number. Okay, and that supremum value actually gives the measure of this corresponding path. Okay, measure of this corresponding path. Can you follow me? Just you think what I'm trying to say. So you just consider another point here, then another point here. Okay, you just continuously increase the number of points, then it will get a better okay, better approximation of this corresponding curve. Okay, but it is already given that it is a bounded variation. The curve is a bounded variation, because this curve is a rectifiable curve, means it is a bounded variation. So it is a fixed number m, such that the corresponding variation is always that particular fixed number. Therefore, the total variation, supremum of this supremum of this all the variation, supremum value of all the variation give the total variation, and total variation is nothing but the length of the curve. Okay, so in this way we can measure the length of the curve. Okay, just you think. Okay, so that's all about for this.